Hello everyone, my name is Kenny McKeithen and welcome to my YouTube channel. I ordered the Canon EOS R5 the day that Canon announced it and waited patiently for it to arrive. Here is that story.
It's here! It's here! It's here! It's here! Oh boy! 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 Oh yeah! So, as you probably guessed, my new Canon EOS R5 is here. And for anyone who may still be waiting on theirs or waiting to order theirs, I thought I would do a quick unboxing and just give you an idea what comes in the box and how I have mine set up. Right here in the top of the box, warranty registration card, and the owner's manual. Look at that owner's manual. That's rather impressive, over 900 pages. Here's a quick tip for you. This will probably never come out of this bag for as long as I own this camera. I have gone onto the Canon USA website and downloaded the owner's manual to my tablet, and so that I always have it with me and I don't have to look at this, and it's easier to read too. Strap, I really like the Canon straps. They're a whole lot narrower now than they used to be. Unfortunately, I use Peak Design straps now, and so that's another accessory that will probably never come out of that bag, but it's nice that they include that. The battery charger here is the same battery charger that goes all the way back to the 7D, before the 7D Mark II. And it actually might go back further than that. It may go back to the 40D. I don't remember, but I know for sure it goes back as far as the 7D. So the nice thing about the R5 is that it uses all of the same batteries all the way back to the 7D. So 7D, 7D Mark II, 5D back several series, 5D Mark IV, 5D3, 5D2 I think also. It's nice that Canon has kept that consistency from camera to camera with the batteries. You know, it seemed like for a while there, every time we turned around, we were getting a new battery. Cable set in here. I'm not going to open this up either. I use a card reader, so I don't have any need for their cables. But one nice thing that's in that package is a cable strain relief that actually screws into the side of the camera and lets you plug the cable in through it, so that way if you snag the cable on something, it doesn't just tear the socket out of the camera. And so that's a good thing too. That's something that Canon has been doing for the last several cameras. Into the lid here, and there's the battery. Now this is a new battery. This is a LPE6NH. The camera will take LPE6Ns. It will take LP6Es as well, but there are some restrictions as far as charging those older batteries with the camera. The E6Ns and the E6NHs will charge through the camera. So I'm going to set that aside for just a moment. And here it is. Nicely wrapped in its little foam pouch. Body cap on it. Screen is turned around backwards, and so no scratches on that. And you know, Canon has a reputation for cameras just feeling really, really good in your hands, and I can say that that one feels really, really good in my hand as well. I am not going to put the battery in it for the moment because I have one other accessory that I ordered with the camera, and that is Canon's BG R10 vertical grip, or battery grip if you prefer. They tend to go by both names. I have been using battery grips or vertical grips on cameras all the way back to when I shot Minolta equipment. I probably don't need to tell most of you how long ago that was. But I find them indispensable. I think they're a great accessory to have. They do add some bulk and weight to the camera. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's easier to stabilize the camera. They duplicate all the shutter release, the control dial in the front, the focus and point selection buttons in the back are all duplicated. And so you can, I'll show you here in just a minute, you can turn the camera vertically, and it's a whole lot easier to hold on to. This is packaged rather nicely as well. If you're familiar with the EOS R, you'll know that the R had a separate connection on the bottom of the camera for its battery grip to plug into, as well as the vertical here that plugged into the battery chamber. They have moved that on the vertical grip for the R5. The connection is here, and the power connection is up here. The battery door comes off the bottom of the camera, and there's a convenient place to connect it right there so you never lose it. I remember older cameras that didn't have that. I'd take the battery door off and stick it in a drawer, and like dozens of other things I have stuck in a drawer over the years and never see it again. So it's nice to have that little place there to keep that. A couple of dust covers here, we'll pull those off. One there and there. And this mates up with the bottom of the camera and screws into your tripod connector, and all the electrical connections are made, and it's ready to use. It has 2 batteries, and that's the other thing I like about a vertical grip or a battery grip, is that it will take 2 batteries. I know the EOS R, and I'm kind of expecting the R5 to be a little bit of a power hog. And so having 2 batteries to run the camera with, I don't think is a bad thing at all. They both clip into this tray, and the tray slides into the end and has a rather positive lock when it gets there. And we can power on the camera now. It fires right up. The first thing I can feel when I power it up is the image stabilization initializing, and you can kind of feel the camera shake a little bit in your hands when it does that. But as I said earlier, one of the nice things about the vertical grip, you are used to using shutter release, multifunction button, primary command dial here, and secondary command dial here. The vertical grip duplicates all of that. We have a shutter release, we have the multifunction button, we have the primary command dial, we have a secondary command dial, and the autofocus on autofocus on, focus point selector, and the AE lock button is there, and the zoom button. So pretty much duplicating what you have up here. So now, instead of holding the camera like this to shoot vertical, all you do is rotate the camera, keep your elbows in, and keep the camera rather tight. So that's it. I am really excited about using that, looking forward to it. I got to tell you a couple of things about this. I'm more excited about this camera than any other camera I've owned. This is the nicest camera I've ever owned. I've been through several. I started with Canon equipment with the 30D for a while, went to the 40D, and then the 7D and the 7D Mark II. I shot with a 6D for a while, as I said, this is the finest camera I've ever owned. It's certainly the most expensive camera I've ever owned. If you add up what I paid new for the 7D and the 7D Mark II, it still doesn't add up to this. As I said, I am just thrilled to have it, looking forward to getting out and using it, and I'll get back to you with some of my thoughts after I've used it for a while. I want to spend a few minutes talking about the overheating issues that have been reported with the EOS R5. There have been a lot of YouTube videos, an awful lot of YouTube videos. There have been an extreme number of YouTube videos covering the overheating issue. Guess what? Camera overheats. Some people are blaming Canon for that, that they feel lied to, they feel misled. In my opinion, all Canon ever said was the camera will shoot 8K video. If you took that announcement and thought that you would be able to film your version of the 10 Commandments using the R5, that's on you. The camera does have an overheating issue. That issue has been greatly curtailed by the new firmware update, firmware 1.1.0, that just came out a few days ago. A lot of folks who came out against the camera or reported major overheating issues are now saying that those are largely gone, not solved, not fixed, but largely gone. Much better than it was. I want to share a little bit about my point of view on that. I am primarily a nature photographer. I shoot wildlife, I shoot landscapes. I love to shoot large mammals, and I love to shoot birds. I don't ever expect to have an overheating issue with this camera. I have no need for or interest in 8K video. That's not why I bought the camera. I have very little interest in 4K video. I'm filming this right now on an EOS R at 1080p and 30 frames per second. That's fine for me. For the little bit of stuff that I shoot video for, that's fine for me. At some point, I can see possibly going to 4K HQ. I have a little bit of interest in shooting 4K 120. But I am not someone who is going to go out and spend the entire day shooting video. That's just not me. That's not what I do. So again, I don't ever expect to have an overheating issue with this camera. If you are contemplating buying the R5 and you are put off by all the overheating reports, the articles, the YouTube videos, and everything else that's out there about overheating, please take it from someone who has used the camera. I've actually had this camera for a little over a month now. I am not experiencing any overheating issues at all. It's simply not the way that I use the camera. So if you're contemplating buying the R5 and you're holding off because of all the overheating reports, and you shoot like I do, you do nature and wildlife photography, and you're primarily a stills photographer, perhaps you do landscapes or things like that, you're not going to experience an overheating issue with it either. So please consider the camera. Please reconsider the camera if you have decided to put it off because of what you've been hearing about the overheating. That's just my 2 cents and my experience so far, but I just wanted to get that out and share that. There are a lot of YouTube videos out there from the perspective of filmmakers, videographers, wedding photographers that cover weddings and other events, shooting video, that have all come out with some rather harsh words about the camera because for their use, they're experiencing overheating issues. But as I said, for me, not something I ever expect to have a problem. If you like this kind of content and you're looking for more, please reach over there and click that subscribe button. Ring the bell so that you'll get notifications when I put up new videos, and give this video a thumbs up for me, and I'll have some more content out for you real soon. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you again in another video. So so please consider the camera. Please reconsidering it. Please reconsider the camera. I want to spend a few minutes talking about